We are
It
live.
looks drunk. We came, we saw, we all got effing sick.
Because I have a shotgun and rifle that I use for, and 22 gauge that I use for ptarmigan, moose, and black bear.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
Who's not dead? Sound off.
Me.
Crickets.
Yeah.
You're the lucky one.
Holy smokes.
Lucky, unlucky.
Ugh.
Worst
Here
thing
we
is,
are in.
is the customer was going to go up for North called at Wednesday afternoon, and they bumped me back 2 weeks as I had 2 pallets of stuff ready to go up.
You're kidding.
So I was
So wait, you didn't even go up, but you didn't come to the show?
No,
You've been at home this whole time.
no, I've been working.
Oh,
Like I was scheduled to work, and I came back from the Yukon late.
Hey, Chris.
Kurt's working real hard there. For those of you
This is
listening
the
on audio,
dumbest.
Kurt is lounging by the pool.
Mhm.
yeah.
Chris is
I'll-
also
I'll-
lounging
literally.
by the pool on the other side of the pool.
Well, I'm on the deck. There's a gate. There's a rusty gate between me and the pool.
Hmm.
We're just showing each other. So obviously we're in Las Vegas for our listeners who are actually doing this show for. It is not particularly warm. Right now it's what, like 4, 5, 6 degrees? Kurt, what do you think?
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere around that.
Somewhere
It's below
around there?
10 Celsius anyway, yeah.
Mm.
It's there was one of the days that it went below 0 overnight, but most of the nights have been like 2 or 3 degrees. This is all Celsius, obviously. And I think the warmest daytime we had was 18, but that was only for one day. I think today's high was like 13 or something like that.
Hmm.
It has not been particularly great, considering that we're in the southern desert part of the U.S.
It's a little bit surprising, I can say that.
What's the weather normally like during a shot show?
We've been at SHOT Show where like evening temperature is like 12 to 15 degrees, and daytimes are like 20 to 23, 24.
Oh yeah, so well seasonally below.
Yeah, I'm
Except
not saying it
for
never
range
gets cold
day.
here. Yeah, range day.
Range day is
always sucks.
consistently shit. Yeah.
Yeah. This time it was super windy and like, what was it, like 7 or 8 degrees?
It's like
Yeah,
6
I don't know
degrees,
that it got to
35
that,
miles an
yeah.
hour wind.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was a lot of wind.
Last year it was actually reasonably warm for most of the show, except for range day, when it was raining and windy and like 4 degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
Just ugly.
Yeah. But I mean, we're inside for most of the show, so it's not like it really matters. It's just range day.
How many
And then-
kilometers did we put on today? Today's our lowest.
Well, let's take a look.
Achievement
Today
day.
was our lowest. Today was 7.8 kilometers.
Yeah. It's about half
According
of
to
what
my-
we've been doing.
That's according to my steperator.
Mhm.
But it was an interesting show this year. It was a very different vibe than a lot of other years. We heard something super interesting. Apparently, if you're certified media, like we are, then you don't have to pay to get into SHOT Show, as long as you register by a certain date. But if you're non-certifiable media, which apparently that means like you don't have any actual media to speak of, meaning like you're an Instagram influencer or something like that, you can still get into the show. But apparently it's normally $600 or $700 US to get into the show if that's what you want. And I guess they were getting a lot of complaints about the influencers just showing up to the show and just using it as a platform to beg, borrow, and steal free product.
Hmm.
So they upped that non-certified media price from $700 to $2,500.
Oh my.
And I will say that there was a noticeably smaller percentage of people walking around with cameras this year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so too. Yep.
So it's a
So I
little
don't know if
quite
that's
so
a good
annoying.
thing or not, but it is what it is, I guess.
it's a little bit different dynamic then. Was the reception to media the same, better, worse?
Our reception was about the same, I guess.
I thought it was a little bit better, especially as the days went on. You could, or at least my perception, anyways, you could always see people's willingness to talk on camera kind of fade as time went. And like today, which is usually a bad day for what do you say, participation. Nobody we approached and talked to and got on camera had any issue whatsoever. They're just like day one, kind of, yeah, let's go. And in the past, actually, I've been turned down. I can't remember whether it was last year or the year before. Most likely the year before, because primers were a real issue 2 years ago. We tried to talk to the guy at who the hell's the conglomerate, Blount or whoever. They handle basically Remington, CCI, everybody, right? Yeah. And I think Jens and I went to him on the last day, and the guy's like, "Man, I'm sorry, I got no answers for you, no insights, whatsoever, and my social battery is drained, like it's on fire. I'd just rather not," he says. So,
yeah,
I can understand that. So
Kurt slapped him in the face, called him a pussy, and moved on.
No, Jens did. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
That's his job.
And then he turned around and called me a pussy for not doing it myself. Again, his job.
Carrie Monsoor's on. Hey, Carrie, how's it going? Hopefully they got home safe. I think they left yesterday or today. They left today.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they got. I'm assuming they got home safe because she's watching our show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right, Kurt. It was definitely different. We went to Tandem Cross today, and we weren't there until what was it, like 3 o'clock? So it's like already like pretty late in the afternoon. Yeah, and they were more than happy to talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Carrie. That's Shane on Carrie's account. Carrie has never called me buddy in her life.
No? Well, you're not on the inner circle either, like Jens and me.
Yes.
Yeah. I that sounds more like good buddy. Sounds more like a Shane response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. I guess what everybody wants to know is what was new, what was great, and what did we see?
Yeah.
I don't know, to me, it seemed
nobody.
Like it was
just fucking crickets.
Today was the year of accessories.
I think it kind of was.
Yeah, I guess. There definitely were a lot of accessories out there. I mean, certainly, a lot of the companies that we prioritize going to, like Apex, definitely had a lot of accessories out. But I don't know. I don't know who else was really just all about accessories though. And Apex wasn't just about accessories. They got 3 new optics as well that they announced. But who else was really about accessories?
The whole show.
You know what I noticed was there's more guys, more companies making wood grips, wood accessories and stuff like that. There's Wooks, of course, that everybody kind of knows by now. But I saw several booths with, everybody has a display of side panels for pistols and whatever, and lots of wood stuff. There were several others that I noticed too. I didn't pay a great deal of attention to, but
that is fair. I guess I don't consider furniture accessories, but that is a very fair statement.
Well, I saw even MDT came out with a wood stock in a complete. It just has an aluminum bedding area, and
What's
the rest.
what's that one they released last year though? That was the Woody or whatever.
That was
the
the
heck.
Timber. I
That's
do
it.
believe. That was the
Close,
last.
but Woody's close. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is just looks like normal walnut, but it's got a little
Oh, really?
PLA in it. So
Hmm.
yeah,
You know, as stupid as it sounds, we did not get to MDT's booth.
hmm
No. Talk to
Mike,
Ryan
did you
for a
go
bit.
and did you get there?
No, because I had like a schedule that I was going to stick to, and then that immediately did not happen.
Blew up. Yeah.
So I can confirm there's a thing called SHOT Show flu. It does exist, and I got it on day
I
2.
think so.
Jesse.
So what did
there
we
was a
learn?
plan.
Yeah,
I didn't learn
But
anything.
you didn't stick to it.
I didn't learn any. Well,
So
I can't
Mike-
stick to it.
Mike ended up getting sick on Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
So you were home for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yep.
I would have
Okay.
anyway. I don't know.
I couldn't
just
even
me.
move.
Yeah, you were pretty sick. Kurt got food poisoning from a milkshake at In-N-Out Burger.
No.
I don't know.
That Mexican place that you took him to.
No.
Actually,
I'm
okay,
immune.
Mike. Here's
I'm
how we know that
immune.
you're full. Here's how we know that you're full of shit on that one, Mike. Because we went to the same restaurant last night. Me, Mike, and Jens, or me, Kurt, and Jens, and none of the three of us got sick. So, booyah!
That's not a. Yeah, I wasn't here. We're talking on like Tuesday.
Well, I know, but I'm just telling you that Kurt didn't get sick from the Mexican place because we went back to it.
I got sick from the mic.
Food poisoning.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
We so Kurt, you had food poisoning, so you didn't come with us on Tuesday.
I don't know. Can you really call it food poisoning? Honestly, I think it was that goddamn Folgers coffee that was in this place. Like it just.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It was the In-N-Out milkshake.
Whatever you guys would like to believe, I don't give a shit.
whatever liquid or solid, regardless.
Yes.
So yeah, he didn't join us on Tuesday, and then Mike was down Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
and then at least for the last 2 days, Kurt and I have just been pushing through because we're definitely fighting something.
hmm
Yeah.
Could definitely hear
That thing on was it Tuesday or Wednesday that I missed? Wednesday, I think.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Whatever those, whichever, I don't care. But as close as I could possibly understand it, it was like menstrual cramps. Honestly, like I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I don't know. Is it the water? Did I ingest something down here? That God, you guys, am I turning?
Don't worry. If he's turned into a zombie, we'll shoot you.
I think
Thank you.
maybe Kurt's going through menopause.
That's exactly what we fucking joked about on Tuesday. Is that it was menopause. So Jens,
Excuse me for a moment while I go have a cry.
Jens is sitting in the Airbnb right now, shit talking about In-N-Out for supper. He loves In-N-Out. Jens loves In-N-Out.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Great place.
Yeah, he was a big fan. We are not talking about SHOT Show at all, which I can
No.
understand. If nobody wants to give their overall feelings on it, because nobody did when I mentioned it before, I'll give mine. I was a little bit underwhelmed about SHOT Show this year. I saw a lot of, and I've heard people say this before, that once you've been there 3-4 years in a row, that it seems like it's a lot of the same stuff. And I understand that now. I think the speed of development is not in 12-month cycles. So it's natural, I think, that if you're going there every year, you're going to see a lot of companies showing the same things.
hmm
But at the same time,
Yeah.
there was also things like, so we went to Aero Precision, and
That was odd.
oh, yeah. Well, let me caveat this, okay? So I used to own a Stag. I used to own an Aero Precision, and and everybody knows what I mean when I say that. And I really liked both of them. I think they're a great company and they make amazing products. But last year's SHOT Show, it was the year of the lever gun, really, last year, and they announced
Yeah.
a new lever gun. And everybody was super excited about it. And I can understand why, because the action's smoother than any Henry I've ever run. And it seemed like a really cool product. Well, this year, on their feature wall is the exact same lever gun.
Right.
So then we're talking to one of the sales guys over there, and he's telling us like, okay, yeah, we announced it last year, and I said, so I guess like how has it been received in the U.S. that we haven't seen any of them up in Canada? And he says, oh, we've only ever made 5 of these.
Yeah.
And
Just a pet project.
Yeah, there's 4 of them hanging on their wall.
And they're great. I mean, at least to fiddle with and cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, I was super impressed by how it cycled. But yeah, so they've only ever made 5 of them. They announced it last year. 12 months later, they're announcing the exact same one, and they've only ever made 5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really a new product. It's more of like a new. It's not even a new tease. It's just it's vaporware at this point.
It's just a space taker. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing to see. Yuke is asking if we saw the new Kel-Tec stuff. We saw some of the new Kel-Tec stuff. Does anybody know if the SU-16 that they made into a pistol, was that new this year or was that old?
I thought I'd heard somebody saying it was out for a while, not necessarily new this year.
Was it? Okay. I can't remember.
Only what I think I recall someone overhearing someone say.
Well, on Tuesday when you were sick, Mike and I took kind of a cursory walk through Kel-Tec. Mike, did you play with the new stuff?
I could not get close enough to the table to play with anything that was new and exciting because it was basically their the SU-57 where it like loads from a stripper clip because bringing things back from 1912 is cool apparently.
No, I disagree, but carry on.
Well, no, it's a pistol that gets loaded by stripper clips. That was the big thing from Kel-Tec this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? That's
okay. So
that's a twist.
Oh, yeah, cool to see them doing new things, but not very cool.
Well, no, I understand why it exists because in California you can't have removable magazines. So if the magazine doesn't leave, then 10 rounds.
Oh, Chris, go ahead and tell us about that. Those magazines, those California compliant magazines you're telling me about.
Yeah, okay. So there's a company called Comp Mag, and they were new, and they're making AR pattern magazines, polymer magazines, but they're making it for the California market, which is very similar to what Trudeau wanted to do in our country. So they made this magazine that when you insert it into the mag well, it locks in and you can't pull it out even with the mag release. So it basically turns a detachable box magazine into a fixed box magazine. And then to actually remove the magazine, you have to separate the upper from the lower, and you have to use a tool that they have to press down a catch, and then you can release the magazine. And then there's a little sliding door on the side of the magazine below the magazine well, and then there's a follower assist where on the outside of the magazine that you can pull down on it and pull the follower all the way to the bottom of the magazine, and load your rounds through the side door of the fixed magazine. And it holds.
I don't know how you guys spell fun, but that to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's the fact that companies like that feel like they have to put stuff like this out into the market is just so sad. But anyway, that's what it was. And, I'm thinking like, if they had put that product out a year and a half ago, it probably would have sold like fucking wildfire in Canada. Now I think they've missed the bus. But yeah, I think they missed the boat on it. And I don't think it's going to sell too well in Canada. But I mean, they had no plans to come into Canada anyway. They're thinking entirely the
Yeah.
California market.
It wouldn't affect
Yeah.
us anyways because we can still only have 5 rounds fixed or unfixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking-
I suppose, yeah.
It's because of California.
Speaking of
they have
mags.
certain rules.
Yeah. They put out those magazines, whatever, SHOT Show Daily. I was thumbing through one of those yesterday when I was waiting for you, Chris, to come to the show. It's a dry fire system, but with it in that mag, it actually has something that'll cycle your bolt. And I just kind of skimmed through the article, but it's for dry fire, so you don't have to manually operate, which is a whole lot better for actual dry fire practice with a pistol. You're not breaking form to cycle your damn pistol just to dry fire practice. So I want to look more into that. And
well, it's funny that you mentioned that to me now. We walked right past that booth this afternoon in the basement.
Shit.
I guess.
Shit. I was thinking this a while ago. I was looking at the distance that Chris was at versus the distance that I'm at. I'm at arm's length. Chris is actually at arm's length, but the thing is, his arms are 5 1/4 feet long.
He doesn't want to look at my nose hairs. So
He's
hang on. Let's
threatened
take a
by your
second
nose
here.
hairs.
Let's take a second here to show everybody how awesome this Airbnb looks. Look, our couches are lit up. So this looks great on camera, right?
Yes.
So here, okay, hold on. Just a second here. Let me get over a little far away from it. So it looks like a pretty cool little patio thing, right? And this
There it is
our
from the
whole
other end.
Airbnb. Yeah. So this is our whole Airbnb. It looks so cool on video. Don't look too close, because this is what happens when you look too close. You realize it's all disgusting, and look at how that's all torn open, and it's just, look at all the fucking grossness inside that thing. That's this entire Airbnb.
White stains.
Was that raccoon shit that I saw?
Probably the
There is
photographs.
no wildlife in this yard.
When we chose this Airbnb, the photographs looked amazing.
No, Chris chose this Airbnb.
Hey, I'll show you the photographs. You wouldn't have chosen anything different. And then I didn't know the neighborhoods though, so we're in a pretty sketchy neighborhood. And number one, and number two, this house is not in good shape.
How many street side engine swaps did we see going on? Like active?
2 or 3.
At least 3.
Yeah. It was
Nothing wrong with
great.
that.
Hey Paco, you got time to do one more?
Don't yell
Okay,
like
you know
that.
what's funny about that is that we're actually outside right now, and he's yelling at us.
Oh well.
We're not going to make the night. It's going to be fucking 18 or 13 hours in Benghazi over here.
I got first watch.
So, question for you all: if there's one thing you could take home from SHOT Show, like right now, what would it have been?
Like one product?
One product.
Oh.
This is going to. Do you guys want to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
The AI glasses from Shooter Global. Those are sweet.
Why?
Because it basically gives you it basically turns your glasses, gives you a heads up display, and then you compare it with your shot timer. It's going to have a first person view camera in it. So for filming stuff, you can get all your data on there and make nice videos with it. So it's something I would look forward to getting. And their new bubble level, or it's not even a bubble level, it's an electronic level. And the new version's going to have like a timer and a dope card and all this package. So I would take that home tomorrow.
Sounds gadgety.
Mm-hmm.
I can't disagree. It's a good choice. Kurt, what about you?
Hannah Barron.
It's not a product, Kurt.
Oh shit!
Wouldn't that be
Well,
funny? You know, Hannah Barron just happens to catch the show, and she's like, "No, you fucking
Right.
won't."
Lawsuit coming in.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a little, what the heck was it? 5 or 6 axis CNC machine.
What the
Honestly.
fuck?
Yeah, man.
They actually
What was the
had-
name of that machine there? You remember, Chris?
Sorry, I'm getting shocked by. I tried to turn on that patio light. It shocked me when I touched it. Okay, what was
That's
your
one of
question?
those. Get out of there!
What was your question? And then it didn't turn on, by the way. What was your question, Kurt?
Oh, it's just that the oh man, the name of that CNC machine.
Oh,
I could see
Jumanji or something?
Jumanji. Yes, yes,
It was a Japanese name.
yeah, for sure. It stands to reason because it was a Japanese machine. Other
Is that
than
what-
that,
is that
man,
your
I don't
pick?
know.
Oh,
Either
this is
that
going to surprise.
or Cade
Okay.
X's 7.92 by Holy Jesus or whatever the heck it is.
Can I change my answer? I thought of something else.
Go
What?
ahead.
The
I'll
new
allow it.
chassis from L3i.
Oh, I didn't see that, man.
It was
You
up.
guys went there
you
that
had
day
to
that I
look to
stayed home.
find it. It was only open for 2 days.
Oh, is that
Oh, it was
right?
in the extras room. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that modular chassis, right?
Yeah, it's like they have center modules, and you can basically for rimfire, it's fantastic because you can tight up every single section that you need to, like your mag tension, not just your latch, but your actual tension on the magazine. You can adjust.
Yeah.
So
Was there a strange noise just a minute ago?
No, that was a bird. Either
okay.
that or that was Paco coming to kill me.
There are several
Hey!
pigeons flying around everywhere.
Hold on a sec. Look who's joining us today.
Hooty-hoo.
How's it going, Hootie Hoo?
Is
Good
Hootie
to
Who's
see you,
still
And
Megan?
Boom Country as well.
Yes, sir.
It would have been cool to. Would have been nice if Boom Country could have made it. That would have been cool to see him in person. But if he comes up north and he doesn't come and see us, oh, that's a paddling.
Cool. Troubles, eh?
Troubles. That's right.
Shane chimes in about
Yes,
a super
He's
sexy
very right.
skeletonized rifle.
it was
Hey,
gorgeous.
no. Hold on a sec. Screw his answer. I haven't given my answer yet.
Uh-oh.
I appreciate
Go
his.
ahead.
Who threw that up there? Oh. Disciplinary action.
Okay, this is going to surprise absolutely everybody that I'm the one saying this because it seems like Mike should have picked this one and I should have picked
Knowing you the way we do.
nerd glasses. But I would take the Falcor Defense 50 caliber
Oh,
that was
man.
Cerakoted to look like a P-51 Mustang.
yeah. Agreed. That thing is dead
I would
sexy.
take that in a heartbeat.
Yep. I noticed we had to pry your fingers off that bolt handle.
I know that if I get not Andrew, Dustin, and Kurt are talking from Falcor, and I'm not involved in the conversation because I mean, what am I?
The
gonna
rest of us were
contribute to
so
that?
uncomfortable. It wasn't even funny.
I was literally just sitting there cycling the bolt back.
Awkward.
Chris is
The entire
cranking his
time.
knob in the booth.
You got a little right on the corner there, Chris.
Yeah, bolt goes open, bolt goes closed, bolt goes open, bolt goes closed. It was pretty funny, but I mean, you got to admit though, Kurt, and you guys even talked about it. Like for a 50 caliber bolt,
Oh my God! Yeah.
that was pretty smooth
Yep.
bolt. And
Well, considering the
whole thing was
options-
just really built well.
Yeah. Kind of historically, the big boomers like that are very
Forgiven.
archaic's not the right word, but it's very utilitarian, right? Whereas
they
this
always
thing
look
is
so
just
chunky, right?
Refined.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did quite
It's just
the,
all business. Yeah, they
Yeah.
added some class to the business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. Other than that, and I'm going to say the second answer just because it's more my speed and to piss off Jens. But I've
I knew this
really
was coming.
liked Tandem
Yeah.
Cross's Mantis X 1022.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just a little baby gun, but it's so cool.
What did he say it weighed?
Oh, it was like, I don't know, like an ounce and a half or something. I don't remember. I think it was like wasn't it like 3.5 pounds or something like that?
I can't remember, but
Or 3 3/4 pounds, something like that. Like, I think it was under 4 pounds.
There was no shortage of carbon fiber at SHOT Show.
Yeah,
Henry
that's true.
No.
had a carbon fiber wrapped barrel.
Ooh.
Henry.
Yeah.
Yep.
See,
They look
that's what-
really nice.
when Mike earlier, when you were saying that like this was the year of the accessory, when I was questioning it, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this is the year of the carbon fiber, because it wasn't just barrels. Like there was a lot of carbon fiber furniture at a lot of booths as well.
Mhm.
You
Well, a
couldn't
lot of
pass
those are wraps too.
You see, Jens, it weighs $1,900 American, you fool.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. You could not pass by the booth of a company that makes a bolt action gun without them having multiple carbon barreled options.
Mhm.
And
there
lots of
there were
suppressors this year, hey?
everything had a suppressor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way more than last year, I think.
We need suppressors in Canada. If you don't think we need a suppressor in Canada, you're dumb.
Agreed.
You're dumb.
Shane's
your pal.
even in the chat here listing carbon fiber barrels on different booths. Are like, I genuinely think like the accessories may have gotten more like stuck in the mind more, but I genuinely think that this was the year of the carbon.
Mhm.
Doesn't this damn place have pool lights?
Yeah, it's behind you.
Yeah. When you try to turn them on, they shock you and then they don't turn on. We're going to die here tonight.
You are.
That's okay. It's got to happen sometime.
Oh, you got a pool light to turn on. Look over there. You got a light.
Yeah.
The thing has been up all night.
Okay.
Annoying me.
Okay. Hang on a sec. Okay, I'm going to go first and I'm going to ask the question because I'm only asking the question so I can go first. So the question will be, what was your favorite part of SHOT Show? And my favorite part of SHOT Show had more to do with the fact that we were in Las Vegas than it had to do with SHOT Show. Because Kurt and I, for the last 2 days, for 2 hours each day, hung out with Kenny Rogers.
Yep. True story.
One of the security guys at the entrance to the media room on the 4th floor of SHOT he's 80 years old this year. Yeah. And he has been a Kenny Rogers impersonator for 35 years. And his name is Richard Hampton.
Yeah.
And he is the funnest old man we have ever met in our lives. He was just hilarious. So, and the whole time we're sitting there just listening to him, he's telling us stories. Yeah, about like when he met Kenny Rogers. He's telling us stories about all the Dolly Parton impersonators that he's done shows with over the years. He's telling us about like high school when he refused to call his his high school teacher, what was it, Mr. Pratchett or something like that. And he refused to call him Mr. Pratchett. He just Mr. Petrie. Don Petrie. He refused to call him Mr. Petrie. He just called him Don, and all the trouble that he got into. He told us about owning a bar for a little while in the 1970s.
Kansas City, in dealing with gangsters.
Yeah, he ended up selling the bar to a known gangster in Kansas City, and oh man, the guy was just hilarious. He was
shout out to his big buddy Mike.
That's right, his big buddy Mike, 6'11", rude as hell. Got to get him in the ground before he starts to smell. Anyway, It's a Primus song. Anyway,
He's a
Richard
great guy.
Watson. Yeah.
No, not Watson.
Or sorry, Hampton. Richard Hampton.
Hampton. Yeah. Had a little bit of trouble connecting with him. He thinks people are great. So I don't understand, but whatever. You just let him reveal.
But yeah, no, you know, every once in a while you come across like an older person, and they just kind of have interesting stories, and they tell them in an interesting way, and you have no idea. Like he could be, I mean, he's 80 years old, and we're from Canada. He could be completely full of shit.
Yeah,
he could be like 99% of it could be lies, but you know what? 90% of it could be truth. And it didn't matter anyway, because he told it in such an entertaining way, and he was just so fun to hang out with. So.
That's a unique highlight then.
I'm genuinely, dude. We intentionally spent. No, he's not going to come on the show, I don't think. But we intentionally spent hours with him the last 2 days in a row. He was great.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Kurt?
You know what? And this is going to sound odd, but a lot of the people that we talk to. Honestly, I found this year people seem to be a little more willing to talk, and you always get the business mode type people where they just want to do their pitch, and that's I think that's what they're expecting with so many people. I think at least I seem to notice more people just wanting to have conversations and piss around, joking around, being funny, all this kind of thing, rather than, okay, what's my spiel that I got to give this guy? And I appreciate that, like acting like a fucking human rather than a sales robot. So it is like, you guys know me very well. I don't have a deep appreciation for people, which is why I say this is strange. I enjoyed the people, most of them. Until that guy cut in front of me and I tried to trip him by kicking his feet.
Oh my God. Okay, second best part of SHOT Show. I mean, people can be so fucking ignorant when they're in crowds.
Oh, stupid.
And just constantly people just like walk right in front of you and then slow down. It's like just fucking ignorant. So we're walking down the hall. Was this Wednesday, Kurt?
I think so, yeah.
So we're walking down the hall and this fucking doofus comes out of the bathroom on the side of the wall and just like diagonals across the hallway right in front of Kurt, and then slows down. So Kurt just reaches out with his left foot and just kicks his heel sideways as the guy's taking a step. And the guy nearly fucking hammers on the floor.
I'm like, geez, sorry, my bad.
And he's like, oh, geez, sorry about that.
Sorry there, bud.
Stupid is.
So the guy's like, it's okay. And then he speeds up.
Hardly a reaction at all, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
You don't have what do those newer cars have for sensors around the sides where they'll sense a vehicle beside them? He clearly didn't have them working. Okay.
His lane sensor?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Lane detection.
Yeah, that's right. Real quick before we move on, Bending is obviously joining us late. He's asking what hotel I'm at. I'm not at a hotel. All three of us are at a Airbnb, and I'm outside on the deck. Kurt's at the pool. Mike's in the patio. What do you call that? Patio? The sunroom. The sunroom that faces south when the sun doesn't come into the south. But anyway,
I think it's an F room. Judging by the stains on the cushions.
Oh God.
Thanks for the F shack.
You're welcome. I love how Nancy's first comment is to laugh at hearing about her husband Kurt tripping a guy at SHOT Show.
Oh man, how to win friends and influence people.
Okay, Mike. I know you only got to do range day plus 1 day, but what was your favorite?
Ooh, range day was great. If it was a little bit windy, that would have been nice. But scrounging the basement in the Venetian was pretty neat.
There was some interesting things in the Venetian.
That's where the interesting ideas come around, and you don't just have 32 of the same handgun in the massive booth in Caesars. You actually have to try and make something interesting, not just float on your name.
Yeah. That is
There
true.
was some neat stuff in the Venetian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Give
You
us
know what
some
we didn't do
examples.
this year that we were so impressed by last year is we didn't stop by the Walther booth. They have some nice stinking pistols there, and we kind
They
of hung
do.
around there last year,
Yeah.
and played with a bunch this year. We didn't do that.
Well, in the Walther booth is where that it wasn't Walther 22. It was the straight pull. It was made by. Was it Walther?
Yep. No,
What?
somebody else, but they were in there with Walter.
They're owned by Walther. Yeah. Why can't I remember?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't go back there because remember last year we hung around in their booth for like 25 minutes.
Oh, we got snubbed. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that they were talking to other potential customers; they were talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They just completely ignored us.
Mm-hmm.
They look Canadian. They can't have guns have handguns anyway, so don't bother talking to them. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, Hammerley. It was Hammerley, wasn't it?
I can't remember, man.
I want to say Hammerley, but I don't know that for sure.
Gerson? I don't
No,
think
it wasn't
so.
Gerson. No, it
Little
wasn't
straight
Gerson.
pull rifle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Regardless.
let's talk Canada real quick.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not a lot specifically for Canadians. I mean, obviously, the call it gun adjacent aspect of it, lots for Canada. I mean, Apex has two new a red and a green dot that's even smaller, like that's meant for handguns. But that's not really for the Canadian market right now. But the 1-4 prism scope, the Vapor, super cool. But we went to like Kodiak, and there's those poor bastards. They're sitting there waiting for a new government, I think.
Yeah.
And they had the Gen 3 180C again, but I mean, I think they're just sitting there counting down the days, hoping that they make it. And they're still operating when the gun becomes legal to sell in the country again. There were some like adjacent companies, Telson Optics was there. Obviously, Cadex is always there. MDT is always there. Who am I missing? There was a really interesting guy from Saskatchewan. Pierce, is it Pierce Firearms, Mike?
Pierce Armory.
Pierce Armory.
I didn't realize he was Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he's from Saskatchewan. Right? He's making replica SKSs in a more modern chassis, I guess you call it. Yeah. So it's just a prototype. And so we saw it was like a 3D printed lower, and maybe a little bit rough because it's a prototype basically. We just made it home, but he's trying to get the financing to produce these SKSs with detachable magazines and more modern looking chassis. So it's kind of interesting.
He also had one he made in 50 Beowulf.
Yeah, he had a couple of different calibers. Yeah,
in 50 Beowulf.
Yeah, it was just the
like the Canadian AK guy.
Basically.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. And obviously that's Canadian. What else Canadian am I missing, guys?
Well, there's Pristine down there.
IBI had the Deuce
Pristine,
2.0
obviously.
out. The Deuce
IBI,
2.0.
I think for the first time, right?
Yeah. Inside Arms had a booth, saying Inside Arms had a booth, announcing their expansion into Texas, building American Dragunov SVDs.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That is pretty interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, obviously, EM Precision was there, but I mean, you guys never have a booth. You're always there as buyers. Am I missing any other Canadian? Like, oh yeah, you're right. Obviously, Trigger Tech is always there. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think I'm missing any
we're probably missing a
content,
lot.
am I?
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't know. We probably are, but
You got the main ones
Yeah.
covered.
Well, we always miss, like, the show's too big to be able to suss out every single Canadian.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to say Canadian? They're Japanese with a very important Canadian distributor here, March Scopes, who displayed several new items. So there's that.
They did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and March is
Lab
March
Radar.
is always there. Lab Radar is always there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait a
Cool
second.
new TRS.
Was Aerotech there? I know some of the guys from Aerotech were there.
Right. I don't know whether they were walking or displaying.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing a booth with Aerotech, but I think
we forgot to hook up with
them. Yeah, well, I sent him a message on Tuesday night, but I never heard back.
Oh, you did too. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe the message expired.
It's impossible to connect with everybody, though. There's just too much going on.
You meet so many. I was shocked how many people, like, you'll meet a random person. You'll have like a 30-minute conversation with them.
You will.
And Chris, being the human rain delay, they'll just hang around for an hour and a half. Hey guys, we should go. TikTok. 45 minutes later.
Well, and most people, I'll just pass them by. I don't know. I'm glad that. Well, it's too bad that Mike wasn't there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because we could have had so many more conversations with people if Mike was there.
I'm kind of like a little encyclopedia.
Well, you also seem to enjoy talking to people.
Yeah.
I'll talk to.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, though. If things go the way that we're expecting them to go in the next 12 months, SHOT Show next year is going to be fucking.
It'll be different. Yeah.
That number, 12 to 18 months. That's pretty much what everyone across the Canadian industry was calling for, timeline-wise.
Well, interestingly enough, when I was talking to everybody at the CSSA dinner, everybody seems to be thinking like 6 to 8 months. And I'm like, God, I hope so.
That's bold.
I don't know how realistic. Yeah, I think that's a little optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's no harm in that, I guess.
No harm in that. Yeah.
Why didn't you say that's not good enough? We want it down to 4.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? But, I mean, we're not even looking at the absolute earliest option for an election is still 2 months away.
Yeah. You know, there's a surprising amount of Americans that we talk to who are much more kind of tuned into Canadian politics than they were last year, even. A couple of years ago, most people that we talked to had no idea. Last year, there seemed to be a few more. And man, so many Americans this year are like coming out and asking questions. What the fuck is going on up there? And what Polyev is doing. And, you know, they're tuned in.
Well, when you see a
they're
dumpster
definitely
fire
tuned
burning
in
across the street, you're going to stop and notice.
Well, they've got their own dumpster fires, though. They're just they've been paying attention to ours for sure. But well, we've always known that Americans tend to look up at us as the canary in the coal mine. So it's not
in a way
a massive surprise. But you know, it's also like
I think a little bit contrary. I think there's, as much as there is a larger, obviously, pro-gun culture in the States, I think there's a larger anti-gun culture in the United States.
That's just a math game.
Yeah,
that's just a percentage game.
It is a math game, but I think odds.
But I don't think that the anti-gun side in the United States gets near the traction that it does in Canada. And I think a major reason for that, as always, is the Second Amendment that they have.
Absolutely, it's been around for so long, and everybody's accepted that it's there. There may be a section of people that squawk about it and you know, make demands and all that kind of stuff, but by and large, it's just there, and there's not too many people that have much hope of it going away. So, the squealers that we have at home.
Can I highlight a comment, read it out loud for the audio listeners, and then have no more discussion about it whatsoever, and we'll just move on?
Just consider it and move on.
Go ahead.
Okay. Shame on. One of the strippers last night had me concerned. I asked her for a safe word, and she yelled out Jordan Peterson. way more political awareness to me. Okay, let's move. Let's move.
What's
on.
wrong with pineapple?
Yeah,
That means something different here.
I was okay. Since we're commenting on it now, that's not political awareness. She just joined his university, so it's on his mind, on her mind.
Yes, yes.
She's
trying to
stripping
better
to pay her
herself.
way through Peterson University.
Right. Oh goodness.
Okay, carrying on. Have we covered the Canadian aspect of it? I'll be honest with you guys. I'm really excited about the prospect of coming down here next year.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably more excited about the potential
what
of
may
next year.
happen. Given what may happen in our political environment.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah, and okay, so we've all acknowledged that there's going to be an election soon. That's fine, but when do things start to change? That's the thing. So if it's in that 12 to 18 month bracket, it won't be quite the same. If stuff starts happening within 6 to 8 months, then definitely you're right.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
You
and even
clean your room.
Like handguns are obviously going to be a little bit more difficult because it has to be done through legislation. But even if we come down next year and we can have semi-autos again, like it doesn't all have to be completely gone for next year to be really exciting for us in Canada. As long as the wheels are in motion and things are starting to move,
Yeah, well, when you get fed crackers for decades and then you're offered a cake, man, it's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Cake tastes pretty good.
Yes, sir.
So Shane says next year you need to come out with us and Trigger Tech for our annual business meeting. No, sir. There's no chance of that.
Business meeting.
Yeah. No offense, Shane. There are lots of things that I'm happy to share with you. Strip clubs, not one of them.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson is not one.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson as a safe word is not one of the things I'm willing to share with anybody. I mean, don't take it personally. It's not that it's Shane. It's that I wouldn't do that with anybody.
It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, it's me. I'm a prude.
Chris is a ton of fun at parties.
I am not a ton of fun at parties.
You heard it here first, folks.
What I am is the first guy to go home.
Technically, that was me this year.
Yeah. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I want to ask you a question in regards to the Canadian side of things. Do you think, like obviously being more optimistic about SHOT Show, do you think manufacturers are also optimistic for a change in Canada, or is that even on their radar?
Well, I think they are.
Yes.
Rightly cautious, though, I think.
Yeah, Mike, you were telling that's a good point that I had forgotten about. So, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, so we stopped by the T&W booth, and for those who don't know, that's like the Arrow survival rifles, the 9mm blowback that you could get in 10mm, because if you're going to backpack carry something, that's the cartridge.
Well, and they had hot swappable barrels, so you could switch out the calibers quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking to him, and he's like, yeah, when they banned that on us, that was like a very large portion of our business was just sending stuff up to you guys.
Yeah.
And they couldn't send up stuff fast enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like we were a primary market for them.
What was it that they were talking about? What the hell was it? I said, you probably wouldn't make that just for the Canadian market. And he said, yes, we would.
No, we're making something specifically for the Canadian market again.
What was it, though?
He didn't have anything concrete yet to show us. He said they are working on something, but
Is that why I can't remember what it was? Because he didn't actually tell us.
Because there was nothing to show.
It's all a fabrication in your mind.
Yeah. No, you're right. He did. He said that they were working on something specifically for the Canadian market. Yeah, that's right.
That's interesting to see coming from an American manufacturer.
Yeah, well, isn't that something?
I think it depends on who the manufacturer is, right? I think there's probably some companies that don't give a flying fuck. Like I don't think Caltech gives a flying fuck about the RDB coming back into Canada, because for the last fucking 4 years they barely sent any up to Canada anyway. But you get niche companies like TNW or I'm trying to think off the cuff who else. I get that sense that Tandem Cross with their 1022 stuff, although it's not banned, but I think it's pretty important for them in the Canadian market. And niche companies with niche things that Canada really picks up on. I think it is kind of important for some of those guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, the new Henry
what we didn't? Fort Scott ammunition.
Oh shit!
We tried to go there a couple of times to talk to Mark, and we didn't see him. Not once did we see him.
You didn't see the Hawk 2E ammunition?
No, not the Hawk 2E ammunition. We could. Well, I mean, the booth was there, but we wanted to talk to the Canadian rep, and we couldn't. He was busy like every time we were there. So that was unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah. Hey, how about Gary?
Oh my God, how have we not talked about Gary yet?
I don't know.
Gary Lewis outdoorsman.
Day one, Monday.
Hilarious.
Yeah. It was literally like we're walking. Where were we walking when you ran into him, Kurt?
We're walking out of at range day. There was one booth, and we just started jaw-jacking with a couple of guys, and Gary was there and did some introductions and had a couple of laughs. And then when we went to leave range day, Gary was right there looking around. I assumed he had a ride. We were joking along, and he says, "What are you guys doing?" So we told him we were going to go find some lunch and get the hell out of there and that. And he says, "Well, you know what? I might jump in with you." So I said to him, "Well, that depends on what you got on you and who knows you're here." Apparently that was appealing to him because he just latched onto us, jumped in the van. We went for lunch at what was that nacho place? Nacho Daddy's. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's got his own YouTube, or no, not YouTube channel, is it?
No, it's not a YouTube channel. It's the equivalent of Wild TV in the US. It's a TV show, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sportsman's.
Yes,
I
think it is.
Yeah.
Yep. He's interesting, man. Like quite a history. He's worked for Nosler in the past, and he's done all sorts of hunting shows and stuff like that. So we're gonna appear sometime on his show fairly soon, I think. We'll probably have him on here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with Gary because he was a lot of fun too.
He's a good dude.
He's not 80 years old like Richard was, but he was still super fun to just like random fucking dude that we pick up and take to Nacho Daddy's, and he turns out to be like,
"Hey fellas,"
but like a TV personality in the gun world that's been doing it for like 30 years.
Yeah. What did he say he'd been here? This is his 18th year or 17th year or something here at Shaw.
I thought he said it was more than that. I thought he was over 2 decades.
Well, regardless, it's a lot. Yeah, consistent anyway. Yeah.
No, he was a lot of fun. Man,
just kind of funny how he just latched on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could take a joke.
He was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely can. Yeah. Sometimes you get people that doesn't matter who they are. You just can't have a conversation with them. Gary and Richard are not those people.
No, not at all. That's easy.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. We got to hang out with some of the folks from the NFA for a little while and get to know them a little bit better, and that was a good time. We got to chat with Ian Runkle and hung out with him for a little while. He was super chill, super fun to talk to. The NFA's interview guy ended up having this meeting, so they let me interview Ian Runkle for their channel.
Yeah, right.
So that was fun. I got to do an interview with Ian Runkle, but it's not on the BS podcast. It's going to be on the NFA's channel.
You're branching out a bit.
I know, right? Yeah, so that was kind of fun.
Shut up!
Curtis gonna get us murdered, man.
That's how you know you're alive.
Just to check, did anybody bring a tourniquet or 3?
Nope.
No.
Okay,
I'm sure there's some string around here somewhere.
So the one other person that we got to chat with for a little while, spend some time with, was Terry Bryant, the Alberta CFO.
Oh, nice.
Man, what a cool person. I probably sat with her at the CSSA dinner, talking with her for about 2.5 hours straight. It was a really cool conversation, and man, those Albertans are lucky to have her.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys suck. Yeah. No, she was really great. You know, sometimes you get people in those really important positions that are very, it really goes to their head, and they decide that they're very above everybody else. That's not Terry Bryant.
No, not at all.
It's impossible to have conversations with people like that without people constantly interrupting your conversation in order to shake their hand or whatever. And every single time, like she's gracious to everybody, and she genuinely seems to want to talk to everybody and make a connection with everybody. And she's big shout out to Terry.
Very
Bryant,
relatable to everyone. Yeah.
The lucky folks in Alberta, because she's phenomenal.
You know, I got a message from a buddy of mine in Alberta today that I have to go back and read it. I just kind of glanced over it while we're in the show. Something about Alberta just announced they're increasing ATT from 2 or 3 guns to 7. I didn't really understand it, but there's been some development there. We have to look into it and see what the heck is going on there. Make sense of the message I got. But anyway, something's moving.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Yeah. Well, here's something else interesting that we found out that maybe other people knew, but I didn't know. Our first provincially appointed in Saskatchewan, in Saskatchewan, our first provincially appointed CFO was Bob Freeberg, and I say was because he's not our CFO.
It's not.
Our CFO is Murray Cowan, who used to be the police chief in the town that I grew up in Estevan, Saskatchewan, but he's actually our CFO. Bob has moved into a different position called the Saskatchewan Firearms Commissioner, and he now oversees the entirety of the Saskatchewan Firearms Program, I guess, including overseeing Murray Cowan, our actual CFO. And I didn't know anything about that.
There's no announcement that I know of or anything there.
I'm sure that there was some sort of announcement, but nothing with a lot of fanfare that I remember.
There was an email that went into your junk box, probably.
It could very well be.
Yeah. So that's super interesting. And it makes me wonder if that has anything to do with the Saskatchewan Firearms Act that they're trying to pass, and maybe Bob's moving into a more bureaucratic position because of that. I don't know anything about it, but it's interesting.
Hey, Chris, I'm running out of juice here, but you want to talk about something that's shipping here starting yesterday?
Oh, damn, sure we do. The Sterling Arms International R9 9mm carbine, one of the only semi-automatics left in this country that we're allowed to have. We
kind of a big deal.
We heard word that they are starting to ship. I can't remember if they were starting to ship yesterday or today or something like that. But people are going to be able to see them in select gun stores. Target Sports in Toronto. What's it called? Wild West
Target Sports
Shooting Center. Target Sports, Wild West Shooting Center, and I think that there was a couple others. I think, but also there are several. There are also several shooting ranges across the country that are going to be getting them. So if you want to try before you buy, then contact your local shooting range and see if you can shoot it, because they're they're starting to ship right away. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, it's nice to see these things still on the market. Like, can't nobody hold us down. We get knocked down and we get up again, right? That's the story of our entire industry in Canada.
Yeah.
And JR says Bashaw Sports. Yeah.
Yes.
And they're gone.
And
Yeah, they're probably already
Mike
gone.
also chimed in earlier, but Chris talked over him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I just said, and they're gone.
No, you said about Siwash.
Siwash, I believe, is the other.
Sorry. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about this, fellas?
I would love to, but I have 18% battery.
Yeah.
But let's mention it anyway. 1AB says Winnipeg Police Service would receive $3.4 million in federal funding to collect, transport, and store firearms from licensed gun owners, and it sounds like they're willing to do that. So fuck the city of Winnipeg and fuck the province of Winnipeg.
Twice.
That's just the power to run the block heaters to start the cop cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you got Kurt dying. Anyway, all of our speaking of dying, our phones are about to die. So maybe we should call it. Who do we have on the show next week?
We have Mark from West Coast Long Range.
Oh, it's about time. Right on.
He is a firearms instructor, a long range instructor in California, former SWAT sniper, and he also has a new scoring app that he's co-developed.
Right.
That is becoming very popular and much more user-friendly than our previous systems that a lot of
Muy
us have
bueno.
matches. So stay tuned for that next week. So
fantastic. Let's really quickly see if we can run through all of our sponsors by heart so that we give credit where credit's due here. I'll start off with one that I can think of. Our show tonight was brought to you by Odell Engineering, the Canuck line of firearms, Bergara Firearms in Canada. Check out the new 357 Magnum lever actions from Canuck, the TM22. We have a video interview with Phil talking about the BMR X and a couple of other really cool Bergara rifles on the market. You can see them, Odell Engineering Ltd.com.
And our favorite Smiths and small shirt wearing buddies over at EM Precision Rifles. Call Shane, talk to Steve, commission a build today. EMPrifles.ca.
Betcha.
No, that's wrong.
It is actually EMPrifles.ca. We're also brought to you by Ribstone Gunsmithing, craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ribstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm.
And we don't want to forget Callsign 66, Canada's best rifle training. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course now at callsign66.ca and follow them on Instagram at callsign66, all one word, and on Facebook at C/S66.
And Sterling Arms International, our Sterling Arms International R9 is just hitting certain select shelves as we speak. I don't think it's going to be the last production run, but I think the first one is maybe a little bit smaller. So if you don't get one this time, talk to your local dealers and reserve one for the next run. And it is Sterling Arms, sterlingarms.com.
Correct.
Sterling Arms, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, Mark Scopes Canada is a Dion Optical design line of rifle scopes. How does it say in the notes? A rifle scope for all your hunting and shooting needs.
Yes.
Contact Doug and Niza at markscopes.ca. Right.
Yep. We're also brought to you by Apex Optics. When you buy Apex, precision comes standard. Check out all the fine competition rifle scopes, red dots, binoculars, and I guess we should say prisms now as well too, at apexoptics.co. The Atom and Fusion red dots have arrived, and other new products at SHOT Show. So stay tuned for more
the Vapor and the Ion specifically, and a whole series of accessories that are pretty cool. So stay tuned.
That was neat to see, man. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Matt, Mike's brother, is glad that he's alive. Let's mention that.
Yes,
I
did,
barely
did, did,
survived.
did we not mention bolt action coffee?
No.
bolt action hasn't
No.
been done yet.
Okay, go
No.
for it.
All right. Bolt action coffee. Bringing, what does it say? I don't know. Great coffee to the precision shooting world.
Bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world.
That's
We
what I
haven't talked-
said.
We
Yeah.
haven't talked about their extremely high cupping scores for a very long time. So
No,
let's mention
that's
that.
true.
It's delicious fucking coffee. Just go buy it.
Yeah.
True enough. Boltactioncoffee.com.
And
What are we
Get them
getting?
all now.
and storied knives.
And storied knives. Pick up a
Those
Gardner
guys.
knife, because if you don't, you're dumb.
And we're gonna have to stay in the ghetto again.
StoriedKnives.com. And I just spoke with Alex Richards today at cdnprecision.com. He does still have a couple of them left. So if you're in the eastern part of Canada and you want to save a little bit on shipping because it doesn't have to ship as far, go to cdnprecision.com. This knife is fucking cool.
Excellent.
All right. I think that'll do it.
Call it.
But yeah, if we don't call it now, my phone's going to call it for me. So I'm glad that we got to get this one out at least. It's good to see your face, Derek. God, next year all four of us are going to tear it up with Jens being number 5, but he doesn't come on
And
the air.
there's
so-
the official, ballistically speaking, loser cruiser rental van for the 2025 SHOT Show.
Okay.
Chrysler USA.
It's a 2025 Chrysler Pacifica. It's not that interesting.
Come on,
Okay,
wow. I don't know.
I think we're talking about Chrysler Pacificas. I'm going to end it.
Because I have a shotgun and rifle that I use for, and 22 gauge that I use for ptarmigan, moose, and black bear.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, ballistically speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.